What is going on, guys? ZDarkYoung45 here, uploading to Sinnoh League Masters for you today. By the way, yeah, so, I didn't have anything to say when I said by the way. Anyway, I'm playing with my alt account, June's Geodude, which is kind of fun. If you get the joke, please feel free to put something in the description. If you don't, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But, I'm using one Uber's team that I really like to use. It's got a Chansey on it. Chansey dropped a UU, by the way. I have no freaking clue why. Because basically how this team works is I have four things: Genesect, Arceus, Mewtwo, and Palkia to clean out all the physical attackers on an opponent's team, Fortress to set up some entry hazards, and then Chansey stalls out all of the special attackers by itself. That's basically how this team works. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's just run down a quick build of everything. It's a Scarf Genesect with U-turn and then, Bug Buzz because I like the coverage in Ubers, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt, I believe. I don't have Flamethrower, which is a little risky. I only have one fire move on this entire team. Then I've got an Arceus normal, just normal Extreme Killer with a Life Orb, Swords Dance Extreme Speed, Shadow Claw, and Earthquake. Also decent coverage because Dialgas and stuff. Anyway, Mewtwo is a Recover 3 attack set with Aura Sphere, Ice Beam, and Psy Strike, with a Lumberry actually specifically to deal with Darkrai, though I haven't seen many Darkrai's yet. But anyway, Fortress is defensive spin with Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Spikes, and Volt Switch. Helps for making sure I get some momentum. Chansey is a counter set. It has counter specifically in case I don't get rid of a fighting type, or there's a fighting type, or not a fighting type, a physical attacker in my face that I really want to get rid of at the cost of my Chansey, which usually never happens. But it's got counter just in case. Then its last three are Seismic Toss, Thunder Wave, because I love being able to paralyze things, and Soft Boiled for health recovery. And the last member on this team is a Lustrous Orb Palkia, with Spatial Rend, Draco Meteor, Surf, and Fire Blast. Takes a lot of teams by surprise. You'll see I get a crit in this match with the Palkia. I'll tell you why it didn't matter at all. So anyway, my opponent's team is a fairly bulky rain team. That's what I'm looking at. Latias is going to be a pain in the ass for me to get around. As long as I can paralyze that pretty quickly, it should be fine. Terrakion is going to be a dangerous thing for my entire team because I don't have something that can comfortably wall it. If it's a banded set, if it's a Scarf set, I can't outspeed it with Mewtwo. If it's banded, I can. If it's also banded, I can also outspeed with Palkia. So there's that. If it's banded, I'm gonna have problems. If it's scarfed, I can easily take a hit with a couple of my guys in KO and Retaliation. Or only two of them. But anyway, that's the plan. Kyogre gets completely walled by Chansey. As long as that's not Specs Palkia with Hydro Pump in the rain, Chansey takes on Palkia with ease. Sub-punching variants, of course, are also partly scary. He has an Arceus type, always something to worry about. No matter what kind of Arceus it is, it's always going to be a threat. And he's got a lead Dialga that I should be able to take care of with between Arceus and Mewtwo. So that's the plan. I'll just start off this battle for you. He decides to lead straight with the Dialga as I just go for the Genesect. Now, I'm just, Genesect is a normal thing. You bring it in, you U-turn, you go to whatever you want. So I'm going to U-turn out immediately, fearing the Fire Blast, and go straight to my Chansey, because I don't want him predicting my Palkia switch and going for the Draco. But what he decides to do is he just gets up Rocks first turn, which is fine with me. I'm not too worried about Rocks on my team. Nothing's weak to them. And I have a Fortress for Rapid Spinning if I feel that it is useful enough in that manner. So what I can do is just go for the Thunder Wave, either predicting the switch or the stay-in, though there's no reason Dialga would stay in on a Chansey. So he decides to go out to his Latias. I'm able to Thunder Wave that. And the only move that Latias has to even so much as damage Chansey is Psy Shock. So I can easily predict that, go out to my Genesect, get the attack boost, and because he is Soldew, and he actually ends up critting the Psy Shock, which is a bit of a bitch, and I will say came down to mattering a little, just because now Genesect's at lower health and I've got to deal with it accordingly. But he's going to go right back out to his Dialga to take the attack U-turn, which means that his Latias did not want to take it. But what I can do on this Dialga is just go straight into my Mewtwo, which directly threatens it with the Aura Sphere. So it doesn't threaten it enough. I know it's a 2 HKO from this range, but it's definitely not a one-shot. But what what I can do is hopefully be able to bring him down to the range where another one will take him out. So Arsphere will take him out on the next turn, but he ends up going for the Draco, which is kind of annoying because I don't want my Mewtwo gone this early. So what I can do is go for the Recover right here and get a bunch of health back, as he actually ends up switching, predicting my next Aura-Sphere as it is, as I end up going for, I believe, Recover. So yeah, Lumberry really helps to disguise what item you are, and people end up thinking you're something you're not. But anyway, I go for an Ice Beam, does a nice, almost third of his damage, but Dragon Pulse does bring me down. I figure I might as well try and stall to see if he gets any Parahaxes. You guys should know my luck by now, that rarely ever happens. But I do live on 1% here with the Dragon Pulse. I mean, does mean I get off, last minute Ice Beam to do another almost third of his damage. Didn't really come down to meaning much, but he's just going to be able to kill me with the Dragon Pulse because Parahax never ever happens for me. Anyway, Paralyzed Latias, I realize what I can do is go into my Palkia, threaten the entirety of his team with Spatial Rend, and that's going to be the plan. So I end up hitting the Spatial Rend, which is kind of nice. Latias gets taken out, and he's going to go into something to directly threaten my Palkia, which is, in fact, his Arceus Ghost, which can take any hit of Palkia's. Surprisingly, what can take any hit of Arceus Ghost, unless it's a Swords Dance set, is Chansey. So yeah, Arceus Ghost completely walls my Chansey set, but like hell he knows that. So I'm not sure what he's predicting. Mirror Coat possibly, but what I'm going to end up doing is just going for another Thunder Wave on the switch to Dialga. Now, here's an interesting fact, is that after Lefties, he's up at 45%, and you'll see, 46, sorry, and you'll see that Seismic Toss is doing about a quarter. So he's probably got 404 HP. Not sure exactly why you don't see many sub-Dialgas. But what it does mean is he can live my next Seismic Toss, which ain't great. So there's that. I'll just go for another Seismic Toss. He lives on 2%. I figure I can take another Aura-Sphere or whatever easily, just go for the Soft Boil. He ends up getting paralyzed. Would have preferred it on the next turn, because what I'm going to do is Soft Boil it up to full to take on the Terrakion, because I know I can take a Banded Close Combat from full. But he ends up going for the Aura-Sphere again and bringing me down to a range where I'm not sure I can take a Banded Terrakion on. And I wouldn't want to take on Banded Terrak anyway, because Chansey's going to be extremely useful against both his Kyogre and his Palkia. Again, as long as Palkia isn't Specs, and Kyogre doesn't hit me with a full health Water Spout, I should be fine. Anyway, he ends up going to the Terrakion. The crit earlier with Psyshock does mean that I'm more comfortable foddering my Genesect right now than I am just directly going into Fortress and setting up some hazards. So, gonna fodder Genesect, dies to a close combat. Doesn't give me any information about the Terrakion other than its most likely choice, though I knew that from the beginning, as it was. My phone is going off. Boop, boop. Anyway, Fortress comes in. I'm not sure what he's going to want to end up doing, but I decide to just go for a layer of rocks, because Arceus will greatly appreciate that. So, Kyogre comes out. Kyogre makes it rain as I go for the Stealth Rock. And, so yeah, Stealth Rocks are up. Fortress isn't at Sturdy, which means that this Specs, or probably Scarfed Water Spout, is going to take me out, but I don't care, because I've got Chansey, and Chansey is a bulky motherfucker. But what else I have is a Palkia. The Quad Resist Water Spout can probably take on Scarf Kyogre. He doesn't really know that it can, but I just left Fortress in case he wanted to do something. Anyway, this is a crit that matters a little bit, not really. I go for Spatial Rend. I do get the crit. If Spatial Rend did exactly 44%, I do have Draco Meteor that's also Lustrous or boosted, so I highly doubt it mattered. His Terrakion comes in, means that it's Scarf most likely, so I'm going to stay in. He can't take me out with a Scarf Close Combat, which means I get to kill him with the Surf, so that's cool. Lustrous Sword Palkia doing work, but what it does mean is that his Kyogre can now come in, lock itself into literally any move to kill me at this point, because a Water Spout from that range is going to kill me. He knows that I'm not Scarfed, which means he's safe switching in his Kyogre, so that's cool. Koius goes down, but what I can do is put him in a checkmate position. I decide to send out my Arceus here. You may think it's weird, but I want to get rid of this Kyogre's health if I can. If he decides to stay in, okay, pause. I'll explain why that's a checkmate position. Arceus Extreme Speed, if I get a Swords Dance up, will one-shot both of his Pokemon. If I don't get a Swords Dance up, I still two-shot everything left on his team. So if he decided to switch into Palkia, that would take an extreme speed. It would die on the next turn. Then his Kyogre would come back in. I would extreme speed that. He'd probably lock himself into Surf, which Chansey takes with ease. If he decided to stay in, as he did, he's locked into Water Spout. I lower a substantial portion of his HP with extreme speed. If he ends up getting a crit to take out my Arceus, Chansey still takes on the rest of his team because I'm just going to go for the Thunder Wave until I paralyze both of his folks and then just go from there. Chansey has a field day when things are paralyzed. So it's pretty much on lockdown. It's GG right now because unless he gets like double specs Hydro Pump crits on my Chansey, nothing's going to be able to take me out. So what ends up happening is they stay in for the extreme speed, just go for another Water Spout, and they end up making a very drastic misplay here, switching into Palkia. What probably should have happened is foddering Kyogre. I was thinking about going for the Swords Dance, but switching into Palkia as an Arceus goes for a Swords Dance is just asking to get killed by extreme speed on the next turn anyway. So I'm able to two-shot the Palkia with extreme speed, and Kyogre would indeed die to another extreme speed or to a seismic toss, so they just forfeit. Yeah, so in Ubers, usually foddering things is better than switching and taking damage. Because, yeah. Anyway, if he had ended up critting and if he had stayed in with the Water Spout and I had ended up critting me, Swords Dance again, Chansey, the fat pink bitch, takes on everything. So, that was the match. Hope you guys enjoyed. I've been playing a lot of Ubers. I'm having a lot of fun in Ubers. I'm actually technically supposed to be on the Ubers ladder in Showdown, but for some reason, that's random battle. So let me Ubers. As you can see, or not really, at 90 it's 1678. My ranking right now is 1721. I am 5-1 on my win-loss ratio, however, so I think that might have something to do with it. You need, more battles to be on the ladder. But as it is, hold on, let's just check OU. Yeah, you have to have 1876 to be on the OU ladder. That's insane. Too many people play OU. I like Ubers. It's delicious. Anyway, that'll be the match for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed. Look at Arceus being adorable shit. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed. I'll leave a link to a video of mine in the description because I did indeed enjoy doing this video, and it was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed as well if you go check it out. But otherwise, keep coming back to SLM for more random shit. I'll probably continue my Silver Let's Play too, because that's been a thing. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys later, and until next time, this has been the Dark 45 signing out. Peace out, guys.